So on the other side last night, or tonight, I suppose, if you're taking our current standing, Notre Dame goes down and didn't cover the spread, for those of y'all keeping track of that at home. But I do think it's very important for us, as much as we don't believe in moral victories, I don't think there's any way, shape, or form, even if you're the most diehard, uptight, high-maintenance Notre Dame fan of all time, I think it's impossible to look at this season and look at who your head coach is and not be fired the heck up for what's to come. Because I left Mercedes-Benz Stadium last night after we saw all the red and white confetti and we did our own stuff post-game on the field and, we made our way to the buses in 20-something degree weather. I couldn't help but feel like, gosh dang, dude, they got something sustainable at Notre Dame. Like, yeah, Riley Leonard's gone next year. Yeah, the coordinators. I mean, we'll see what happens with Al Golden. I mean, I know that's been a topic of discussion, but I don't know how you look at what this season was for Notre Dame from what they did in College Station to then dropping the game to NIU to then going on a tear the rest of the way in the college football playoff run that was cinematic and felt like the team of destiny. I don't know how you look at that and say, 1 year. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. In fact, we'll talk about this in our way too early top 10 that we got on deck for you. Speaking to folks very close to Notre Dame, they believe the roster they have coming back next year is actually as talented, if not more talented, than what they had this year. Take of that as what you want. But Riley Leonard obviously being gone, that'll be a factor. Of course, you lose other pieces, but the future is extremely bright for Notre Dame. Going back to what they could lose. Well, JD, like Al Golden, he might leave. Riley Leonard, we talked about that. He's gone. Okay, what has Marcus Freeman done at every single turn when he's had to make an addition or he's had to fill a hole, a vacancy? Done it at the highest level. You lose an OC? Okay, cool. Go get Mike Denbrock, the dude who ran the best offense in college football the year before you brought him there and had a Heisman Trophy winner in Jaden Daniels. Yeah, that'll work. I'd say it's probably a good way to address a need. Hey, we need a new quarterback. Sam Hartman, via the portal, cool. We need someone else, though, this year. We go to the depth chart. Nope, we got to do better than that. I'm not saying the depth chart was bad, but hey, we feel like we got a roster here to really make something work. Go get Riley Leonard, who, again, what he's proven this year, maybe there's a sense of overachieving based on expectations, but I promise you, man, a lot of that, in my opinion, was due to what Notre Dame did to empower him as a player, as a quarterback, as a leader. I think Riley Leonard helped Notre Dame as much as Notre Dame helped Riley Leonard. So, again, Marcus Freeman, knocking it out of the park when you need to fill a vacancy. So, are things going to change? Yeah, that's the price of success. Now, I don't know what those changes are, but they're going to change as you succeed. That's what happens in college football. Marcus Freeman has proven now in a small sample size, in a 3-year stint now, he is more than capable to fill those holes at a very, very high level. All right? Now, here's what I want us to focus on. In the game against Ohio State, talk to every Notre Dame fan, as optimistic as you could be. I don't think any Notre Dame fan thought, hey, we're going to roll in there and just outmatch up Ohio State. Yeah, they got some good players. We got better players. Never heard that. Why? Because Ohio State's got the best roster in college football. It was always going to be a somewhat narrow path with a lot of contingencies for Notre Dame to win that game on Monday night. There's nothing wrong with that. Notre Dame deserved to be in this game in every single stretch. Notre Dame also beat two teams previously in a Georgia and a Penn State that you would argue had more quote-unquote talent than Notre Dame when it came to raw ingredients. But why were they in this game? Why did they appear in this game first, and why were they in this game in the fourth quarter? Because they got that freaking dog in them, man. They do. And that's cliche. It's a cringy Instagram caption. It's a great motivational speaker move. But, that's the deal, dude. They got that dog in them. You want to know why they got that dog in them? Because their head coach is a freaking dog. And guess what? He's just getting started. It's his third year doing this thing, bro. You don't think he's going to get better? You don't think he's proven he's willing to evolve and change and push the envelope? And, oh, by the way, the 12-team playoff, I get it's going to change a little bit too, but, Notre Dame, from what I can gather, sitting pretty. They should be a team that hosts a playoff, give or take, every single year based on what they're doing. And so as they evolve and as they, continue to, get better in certain areas they got to get better at, I don't think there's any reason to believe this was like a one-year hit for Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman. I think it's just the start. And on top of it, just being the start for them, we said this many times, There was a talent gap tonight against Ohio State. There's a talent gap in the playoff. There's not going to be a talent gap to the same degree, at least here going forward under Marcus Freeman. Why? Because you have changed what Notre Dame football is to everyone watching, to recruits, people in media, to NFL scouts. Like, you have changed what Notre Dame football is in the modern era because of what Marcus Freeman has done there. And it's not like they hadn't popped top 10 classes under Marcus Freeman. I believe they have 2 to his name at this point in time. But they now have real ammunition to go hunt. Like, it's very different, I think, to treat recruiting like fishing versus hunting. Fishing, you say we got a great brand, we got a good product, we'll cast a line. Kids will come to us. We'll do the junior days. We'll of course go see the kids, but we're gonna kind of take a somewhat passive approach, and we'll find a way to get our guys here. We think we can get it done. We're gonna minor in recruiting, which is just, it sounds horrible even coming out of my mouth, but I feel like some coaches do that. That's not Marcus Freeman. Here's a dude that says, okay, we got some weapons now to go hunt with, a national title berth, multiple college football playoff wins, a team that's trending up. We're going to go acquire the top dudes. We're going to strike while the iron is hot. And, again, folks close to Notre Dame have told me it's never been a Marcus Freeman issue. It's always been a Notre Dame optics versus other schools that kids could go to issue versus a SEC school or whatever. How many times have we talked about the Georgia win on this show? Why? Because it's important. It's a real deal bargaining chip now for kids in the Southeast to have a lot of stars next to their name to say, hey, maybe, just maybe, you should think about Notre Dame because we beat that team from the SEC that won your conference a year ago. I don't know. It's late. We're kind of riffing a little bit, but this is how I feel about the whole thing, man. One more take on this. In the spirit of talking about Marcus Freeman evolving and the team evolving, what they'll look like going forward here, I have to believe with what the weapons are on this roster, with the Jaden Greathouse, the way that he popped, with a Jeremiah Love, and the way that he has really been a force whenever he's healthy. I think they're going to look in the mirror and say, you know what, we got to find a way to be more multifaceted. Had a recipe that worked this year. We compared them to In-N-Out burgers and fries. You do it well, and you have some secret menu to go with it. But if we want to win national championships, and again, that's what Marcus Freeman plays for. They play for national championships, Notre Dame, and it's not just a lip service thing. It's a real deal thing now. I think that's going to be the next step for them. Now, a lot of that probably depends on who's your quarterback next year and things like that, but I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if we saw Notre Dame over the course of next season and the next couple seasons really have an emphasis on dropping the top and being able to play in those games where, hey, if we do get down 14 points, we never plan to, but football is crazy, ball is shaped weird. If we do get down by 14 points, we're going to have what we need to hit the gas a little bit and be able to climb back into those games in a much more, not comfortable fashion, but a much more natural fashion. So Notre Dame, again, they're just getting started. It's tip of the iceberg. I have all the confidence in the world in Marcus Freeman. This is not just a flare. All right, it's not just something you shoot up into the air and it looks nice for a year. This is a real deal fire they got burning in South Bend. And, again, if I were buying stock, the stock thing is so overused. I'm sorry to do that to y'all here, but it's 3 a.m. That if I were buying stock, I'd take all the Notre Dame stock I can find, all right? Like I told y'all before the year started, like a pizza, like a frozen pizza at like 12 a.m. Later it gets, the more I like it. I feel the same way about Notre Dame here the further they get into the Marcus Freeman era.